What if I told you that God Valley just got even better after finding out the founding members of the Revolutionary Army were also there? Yes, I'm talking about Kuma. Yes, I'm talking about Ivankov. And now with the combined characters like a young Roger, the Pirate King, a young Whitebeard, the world's strongest man, of course, a young Kaido, the world's strongest creature, and also a young Rox the Xebec, of course, the man who's Roger's most formidable foe, surpassing the likes of Garp and, of course, the likes of Whitebeard. I forgot to mention that young Garp, who's the Marines' hero. Like, he's literally called the Marines' hero, probably the greatest Marine. And then, of course, a surprise element of his son, a young Monkey D. Dragon, who will be Luffy's age, the age of 17 when Luffy started the One Piece journey. So we're going to see a young, vibrant, pre-time skip kind of like version of Monkey D. Dragon, which is gonna be cool to see how he acts, how he moves, because he's so mysterious. And that's the young most wanted man. But I also want to say this, it's about to get juicy with many more plot elements, and I think it all revolves around Rox and the Rox crew. But I do want to say this, I got my boy Recon here. We did a last collab and you guys enjoyed it, so of course this is part 2 of that collab. In this video we're discussing all this and more.
Someone who carries on Nika's will, someone who literally is attempting to do what Nika did back 800 years ago, is Monkey D. Dragon. And so, will Kuma's Nika be Dragon, or is it going to be Luffy? I'm curious to see who it ends up being, because it's open for interpretation right now, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I would even say that, like, all this Nika and Warrior Liberation, it's like kind of like people are forgetting about the Willa D and how the D will always bring a storm. So there's a lot of Willa D characters that are still like pivotal, like Marshall DT, Monkey D. Dragon, that are still going to cause like an impact, as well as, of course, Luffy, who's of course the Joy Boy. He inherited Joy Boy's will. But honestly, I think what we've seen, it's Oda made some good investments. Like, Kuma's story's been built up since pre-time skip, so like we're automatically gonna have a emotional attachment to Kuma as a character. And like when his dad's telling him about the Warrior Liberation, then he passes it down to Bonnie and says, and Bonnie asks, am I gonna be free too? Like, I think this is the perfect time for Luffy to like have a feel-good moment, because Luffy won't even know what he's doing. That's the crazy part about it. He doesn't know the impact it will have on Bonnie and Kuma. And the crazy thing is, when Bonnie sees Luffy in the beginning of Egghead Island, she mentions how Luffy's Bonnie wanted poster looks different. So there's a lot of hints throughout this arc with like foreshadowing, and it's very poetic. And I think this arc is like, I said Wano's my favorite arc after, because I just enjoyed Wano really like a lot. But Egghead Island is really coming close.
Same, exact same sentiments on my end.
Yeah, it's getting close, bro. Like I don't know. It's like I can't find anything bad about this arc. Like, I enjoyed everything about it. Like, it's so fast paced, and like we're going to different areas, and like we're seeing Garp in situations, we're seeing Kid, Law in situations. Like, characters we have all investments with are like going through like life and death situations. And now we're seeing, like, pretty much Saturn said it best, yo. They're surrounded by like 50,000 Marines, yo. Like it's like game over right now. But this flashback is also a really good change of pace, because it's so hectic that we need like a calm beginning, because the flashback, it hasn't got crazy yet. It's gonna get crazy, but like right now it's just Kuma and Ivankov. I actually want to see more like Kuma and Ivankov related content, and that people might be surprised at me saying this, but I feel like it will definitely make the flashback better if we follow them through them escaping the Celestial Dragons, and then they randomly just see just monsters like Rox the Xebec, Whitebeard, and like the whole crew pull up. And then of course,
similar to Odin's flashback.
Exactly. So yeah, and Odin's flashback was just amazing too. So you know, I can't say anything bad about that. But I was gonna say this for the final thing. I was gonna ask you, Recon, you have any final thoughts on God Valley flashback? Like, any expectations? Any thoughts on what you saw in the chapter? Just anything. Just throw it out there.
Oh, dude. So speaking of the Odin flashback, for me, I was like, this is not gonna get surpassed until the Void Century flashback. But after this most recent chapter, I feel like that has the potential now to be my favorite flashback. It has everything going for it. Depending on how long it is, obviously, what's in there. If this is really the true God Valley flashback that we're about to get, it's going to be really hard for this not to be. I mean, bro, we might have a chapter, Mac. We might have a chapter in this flashback that has Roger, Garp, Rocks, Garling, Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom, Dragon, Kuma, Ivankov. Like, bro, the lineup is stacked. And it's like, not only is it stacked, we're going to get so many answers, so many reveals, of course, more questions, but so many things we've wanted to know about these characters. And even without those reveals, brother, I just want to see these characters interact. I want to see how Roger and Rocks reacted or interacted. Did they look at each other as like pure rivals, similar to how Roger and Whitebeard would look at each other down the line? How did Roger and Garp interact? Did they truly have in real time that Luffy Smoker dynamic, where one of the characters would like go off and attempt to miss the other? It's like, oh no, I'm out of here, whatever. And the other one's just seeing after him like, yo, come back here, whatever. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing those dynamics, those interactions in real time, bro. And then the Rocks crew dynamic, like, it's gonna be really cool to see Big Mom, Kaido, Whitebeard, these leaders, these incredible individuals. They're all serving under this one guy. And seeing either the reverence or the respect or just how they treat Rocks. And it's like all those things by themselves are going to make this incredible. But when they all come together, it really does feel like the God Valley flashback, or the God Valley incident, is going to be lived up to in my mind. Just based on the way that everything has played off so far. The flashback started off so emotional that now it's going to be like straight hype until we get back to a few emotional elements. Obviously, I'm fully expecting the Shanks thing to come into play soon, with both Garling and Roger taking Shanks from here and stuff of that nature. Maybe even another character that we've seen within this story that could be like surprising characters show up here. And I 100% expect us to see Emu dealing out the order to take out God Valley within this flashback as well.
Order 66.
Right, with Order 66. So it's like we're gonna see that. We're gonna see all that. It's gonna be really, really incredible stuff. But I feel like now we can look at this and pretty much confirm that the reason why Oda is giving us this flashback now, specifically the God Valley flashback, is because we need a comparison. We need something to compare the Egghead incident to. We didn't see the Rocky Port. We've heard of it. The God Valley incident is the biggest incident in the series. So now once we see that incident, when we cut back to the present, and we get the final volume of Egghead, and we see all the insanity going off there, the true Egghead incident, we're going to look at that, look at the God Valley incident, and understand why it is that Oda needed to give us the context of the God Valley incident in order for us to properly digest what's insanity is about to take place at the end of Egghead Island, bro.
I'll even say this to add on to what you were saying, yo. Like, God Valley is known for the natural abundance of resources, so we're probably gonna see some crazy delve roots that people are hunting for. Like, who knows? We might see the Yami Yami no Mi. Who knows? We might see. We know Kaido got his fruit in God Valley from Big Mom. So there's so many different things we could see. Like, we know probably Orochi's fruit is from there too. Maybe Higurashi, that whole plot line there. And she had Shiki goal line Shiki's face in Wano that tripped all of us out. Like, what the hell? Where did she interact with Shiki? But now we know probably in God Valley. And I think Shiki is probably one of the most characters that is going to be really interesting, because we know Shiki has that rivalry between Roger with the whole Ed War and like his whole chapter. He was the main character of Chapter 0, so because it was building up his movie. So I'm excited to see how Shiki interacts, because he's a savage as well, yo. He was like one of the top dogs back in the days too, you know. So I think we're just, as a fan, this is like fan service. As a fan, like, there's just too many hype things to see. And how to say is that we can go on for hours talking about what we're gonna see in God Valley. But the good thing is, next week the chapter 1096 comes out. We're probably gonna get some new information, and we could do it all again. You know?
Right. That's how Oda is.